What's going on, guys? It's your boy Bart, and I'm here to make my projections, which will be better than Ben's, against or in the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 matchups. First of all, starting in the East, we got Duke against Virginia Tech. Last time they played, Virginia Tech won. Virginia Tech also did not have the best player, but Duke didn't have the best player in college basketball. That's Zion Williamson. But the Hokies, don't shock the world. Their tournament is over. Another matchup, we have this, in my mind, the biggest surprise of the tournament. 3-seed LSU Tigers. And I say that's a surprise because of just how the regular season ended, the whole Will Wade situation. We won't dive into that, but I thought there'd be a cloud hanging over them. And I thought they would lose to Belmont, and Belmont didn't even want to beat Maryland, but that's okay. I'm okay. Anyway, I believe the Tigers run ends against the Spartans of Michigan State, and the Spartans get one step closer to the Final Four. In the South, we have Virginia against Oregon. The Ducks are the Cinderella of the tournament, being the only double-digit seat left in the field. But that run ends in the Sweet 16 to the Cavs, but put the Virginia into the Elite 8. We have Purdue against Tennessee in the other matchup. Carson Edwards coming off that huge 42-point performance. Hot take, he won't get to 20. Put the Vols into the Elite 8 for only the second time in school history. Midwest, we have North Carolina against Auburn. If it wasn't for Auburn, this would be another chalk bracket because they knocked out Kansas. But the Tigers run ends in the Sweet 16, the first since 2003. Put the Tar Heels into the Elite 8. In the other matchup, we have the Houston Cougars in their first Sweet 16 since 1984. A lot of long droughts being busted. They have to face one of the most storied programs of college basketball in the University of Kentucky. Better team wins. Kentucky into the Elite 8. In the last region, we have the West with Florida State taking on Gonzaga for the second consecutive year in the Elite 8, in the Sweet 16, excuse me. And for the second consecutive year, put the Seminoles into the Elite 8. In our last Elite 8 match, in our last Sweet 16 matchup, we have Texas Tech taking on Michigan. Let's make it another rematch. Michigan into the Elite 8 against Florida State. And for the second consecutive year, they meet. But this time, Leonard Hamilton finally gets to the Final Four. He takes out Michigan, and Florida State is your champ of the West. In the East, you have Duke against Michigan State. Duke has been the most dominant team all season long when they're healthy. That continues. Put the Blue Devils into the Final Four. In the South, we have Virginia against Tennessee. Going to get a little sentimental here. About 2010, I believe it was, which was Tennessee's last and only trip to the Elite 8. After they took out Ohio State in that Sweet 16, Bruce Pearl said something that has honestly stuck with me. Now, I understand he's the coach at Auburn now, and his run has ended. But he said they're going to try to live every kid's dream and go to the Final Four at the end of his interview. Well, Admiral Schofield, Grant Williams, they will live every kid's dream, and they will go to the Final Four. They take out Virginia. And in the Midwest, our last ticket punch to the Final Four will be the University of Kentucky. Kentucky knocks out North Carolina. They get revenge from a couple years ago, what happened in the South region in Memphis. And your Final Four will be Florida State, Duke, Tennessee, and Kentucky. 2 SEC teams, two ACC teams. The two best conferences in my mind in college basketball. We'll see what happens.